So the Nintendo Switch is finally coming out in March. Of course, you already knew that since it's all anybody on the internet seems to be talking about. And I swear, if I see one more Switch video, then I'm gonna shove my pinky up somebody's ass, so help me. With all that being said though, I'm definitely excited for Nintendo's new console, and I can't exactly review anything right now since I'm in my closet hiding from my uncle. So I decided to make a wish list of games I'd like to see on Nintendo's console handheld VR headset hybrid in no particular order. Or, what I'd like to see done differently with games everybody knows we're gonna get. I know I just said I'd go in no particular order, but I'm a lying piece of shit and need to talk about a new Metroid before anything else. It's a shame we didn't get a Metroid game on the Wii U, but if I had to guess, I'd say they were probably working on one and decided to just kinda hold off until the Switch came out since it'd be a wasted effort on the Wii U. They probably would have done the same thing with Color Splash, but that was pretty gamepad heavy, so it had to come out for the intended console. I don't care if the next Metroid's even a 3D adventure. In fact, I kinda want a new 2D Metroid game while we're on the subject. I have no idea why they wouldn't just give us one on the 3DS, that would've been perfect. Instead, we got Federation Force, but that doesn't even count. It was a fucking gut punch. I'm guessing they thought the Metroid Prime games got stale and are still trying to figure out what they even want to do with the series since everybody pissed and shit all over Other M. Hopefully, we see a new Metroid game within the first year of the Switch's life cycle, or I'm gonna bare-ass spray fart all over my own carpet. And then who's gonna end up looking dumb, huh, Nintendo? Anyway, on to the next game. I think it's about time we get SNES Remix. In fact, if there was more third-party involvement, I don't think NES Remix 3 would even be out of the question. Come on, Nintendo, it's not too late. Or maybe it is, I don't know how royalties and all that shit work. We've got third-party games on the NES Classic Edition, so I figured it'd be alright. But ROM hacks aren't really that high on my wish list. What I'd really like to see is a new 3D adventure Mario game. We got a tiny little whiff of some kind of 3D Mario game that looked really cool. I want to see more of that. As fun as Super Mario 3D World was, it just doesn't compare to the Mario Galaxy series and all the shenanigans one gets into during those adventures. With that being said though, I'd also love it if they'd continue the 3D World franchise since it's really something different altogether and I enjoyed getting into real life fights with my friends during 4-player sessions. So I say keep 3D Mario games simultaneously going in two different directions, but they should probably cut back on the 2D series. Now that we have Mario Maker, we don't really need to pay Nintendo for a new adventure that probably only takes them like 20 minutes to put together. Or do we? I guess if they made a new silly power-up, my dumbass would buy it. And you know what? I'm sure it'd be fun. I mean, as much as they pump these games out the ass, has there truly been a bad Mario game other than the Japanese Mario 2? And while we're talking about Mario 2, why not continue the Doki Doki Panic series? I know the Doki Doki Panic characters aren't owned by Nintendo, but I just want to see that game engine used again. Call it something different if you want, and we could have new wacky characters to play as in Smash or something, I don't know. The closest we ever got to a true sequel was the remake on Game Boy Advance, but it was really more of an enhanced port. Sure, it might be confusing for the casual consumer to have so many different Mario platforming series coexisting at the same time, but fuck them. I'm sure they'd all sell and be fun games, so it's win-win for everybody, isn't it? But what about the Mario Kart series? Everybody naturally assumes that we'll get a new game for the Switch, and I say fuck that shit. Let Mario Kart 8 be the end of the series. Well, alright, enough cryptic build-up. I really think that instead of Mario Kart 9, we should get Nintendo Kart. It's so obvious to me that this is where the series needs to be headed. They gave us the tiniest sip in Mario Kart 8 of new Nintendo franchises appearing in the series, and it was delicious. Just imagine how awesome it'd be to have Pokemon, Metroid, Pikmin, Splatoon, and even more Zelda-themed courses. Not to mention the potential for third-party support, too. It'd be win-win for everybody. Nobody really gives a shit about all these obscure Mario characters. I mean, some of them are a real stretch to begin with anyway. And it's not like you'd have to build all these characters from the ground up like you would in a game like Smash. Mario Kart characters have weight classes, and that's pretty much it. The only work that would really need to be done would be in the tracks themselves, and if they're gonna make new courses anyway, then why not base them around different franchises to spice things up big time? If they do that, then this will not only be the best-selling game in the series, but I guarantee it'll sell Nintendo Switches out the ass. Also, would it kill them to fix balloon battles and give us voice chat, and really just more online features in general? Don't be dicks, Nintendo. Speaking of dicks, remember when Square told Nintendo to frig off? Well, they came back for the GameCube, so what's the holdup on a new Super Mario RPG? I'm not talking about a new Paper Mario game. That needs to happen too, but why not give us Super Mario RPG 2? Or 3, since Japan called Paper Mario 64 Super Mario RPG 2. God damn it, fuck it. Just call it Super Mario RPG Revenge or some lame subtitle like that. I mean, why not? We all know it'd be fun as long as Square Enix tries. What about a new Luigi's Mansion, though? Dark Moon was great, but what'd be even better is to just give us a huge mansion to explore and maybe give us a little extra sauce with some online stuff like we got on the 3DS. And another game I'd like to see is Mother 4, although I'm not really sure it'd sell all that well outside of Japan, even though there's more interest in the series now than ever before. Since it'd at least be popular enough in Japan for the game to be profitable, why not just do it, you turkeys? Unless Shikasatu Toy didn't feel like helping. Oh wait, he said he wouldn't. Never mind. Anyway, a game I'd like to see that I'm sure nobody else gives a shit about would be Nintendo Land 2. I thought the concept for Nintendo Land was criminally underutilized. Just give us online options and I'm all in. And speaking of games that need more online options, Splatoon 2 is a game that comes to mind. And so what if a few kids get diddled? We need to be able to communicate via voice chat in an online co-op shooter. And what about the Smash Bros series? Well, I don't really have any ideas, to be honest. Just keep doing what you're doing and give us more, please. The same thing could be said for the Pikmin series. But the last thing I want to talk about is the Pokemon series. We don't need a new generation since we just got one, and we really don't need a Gen 4 remake since, I'm sorry, nobody really cares. Maybe they do, but meh, my idea is better. What I think the series could use is a fresh start with a Red and Blue remake, not a Red and Green remake in North America that'll just confuse people. If this is going to be the first 3D adventure in the series on a home console, then we need to start from the beginning since we just got Sun and Moon on handhelds. Supposedly, they're already working on porting Sun and Moon to the Switch, but I'm not going to replay the entire game over again. I mean, I probably will if they end up making it, which they probably are. But it would be such a massive missed opportunity to really get people interested in not only the Switch, but the Pokemon series. As popular as Pokemon still is to this day, there's still tons of people out there who absolutely refuse to consider the possibility of giving anything past the first generation a chance. Even though these people really do have a nostalgic love for the series, with the success of Pokemon Go being proof of that. Back when the series initially debuted, every kid wanted a 3D home console Pokemon adventure so badly. And since we're gonna get that for the first time ever, and we just got a new generation like 5 minutes ago, then why not bring the series back to its roots and tickle people's nostalgia holes? All Nintendo would need to do to reel those lost Pokemon fans back would be a 3D remake of the Kanto region while letting players travel to the Alola region after beating the Elite Four, seeing as how it's mostly just different forms of the same Pokemon. Or at least let us visit the Johto region since we know it's right there. In fact, I guess it wouldn't even have to be a remake actually. Why not give Pokemon Red, Green, Blue, or whatever you want to call it a sequel? All I know is that I was one of those supple young boys who wished for Red and Blue to be in 3D back in the day, and just like dinosaurs being resurrected, it's something I just never stopped wanting. Oh yeah, and while you're at it, Nintendo, give us better Wi-Fi battling options. And to go one step further, make EV training something that doesn't take longer than 5 minutes, and give us complete control over IVs because hatching literally thousands of eggs has never been fun. Anyway, those are my wishes. What do you want to see on the Switch? Is there any obscure or dormant series you'd like to see make a comeback? Did I forget anything? Oh wow, you know what? I actually just got an email from Shigeru Miyamoto, and he said if you make your wishes in the comments below, then Nintendo will definitely make them come true. So why don't you go ahead and do that and argue with each other in the comments. See you in hell, suckers!